Welcome back to Inside the Heat. Eliminating the Bulls in 5 games again allowed the Heat ample rest before a playoff rematch against the Indiana Pacers. The Heat beat the Pacers in a 6-game second-round series in 2012, and both teams were better and even more prepared for a Heat-Pacers Eastern Conference final that would prove to be intriguing, physical, and hard-fought for 7 games. The Miami Heat were about to confront and overcome adversity.
Let's go Heat! Bring the Heat! Beat the Pacers!
Live from American Airlines Arena, it's the Eastern Conference Finals. Game 1 of the best of 7 as your Miami Heat play host to the Indiana Pacers.
Miami knew what it was going to get into, and they had to bring their A game to win this series.
Once again, the Heat started slowly in Game 1, but received a boost from Chris Andersen with 16 points.
Andersen drilling the play! How about the Birdman? He's 7 for 7.
His ability to finish makes him a very, very valuable player.
Really didn't know that I was out there being as efficient as I was, but it just felt great with the fans yelling and screaming.
The Heat were up 3 and needed a defensive stop. With just 5 seconds left, Paul George let one fly.
George fires for the tie. He's got it! George with the three-pointer to tie the game.
Overtime went back and forth until George made 3 free throws, giving Indiana a 1-point lead. The stage was set for LeBron James.
2 and 2/10 seconds remaining. Battier gets it in. Here's James on the drive for the win. And Miami coming away with a 1-point overtime victory.
What great teams do is they find a way to win even when they don't play their best.
Right now we're in Game 2, and we got to try to focus and win Game 2.
We haven't protected our home court yet, and that's why we have to come out with a desperate mentality tonight.
Indiana was the one that came out desperate, and they led by as many as 13 in the first half. Miami responded with a burst in the third.
Chalmers bounce pass. James behind the head. Two-hand jam, James.
But Indiana's defense in the final moments denied Miami.
And his pass picked off. This series even at 1.
Very close series. We got to play well. We got to finish. We got to close out games. We're hoping to do that in Game 3.
Live from Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, it's Game 3.
The Pacers had not lost at home in the 2013 postseason, but the Heat were about to change that.
Bosh, open 3, straight away, kaboom! To LeBron in deep. LeBron up with it, got it.
James went to work in the low post, scoring 18 of his 22 points to set the tone in Miami's 70-point first half, a franchise record.
Don't think about the victory, you think about the task.
Wide open, UD, the jump shot, another one, Udonis.
And I just got to my spot, tried to space the floor, and credit to my teammates, they found me.
The Heat continue to pour it on en route to an 18-point rout and a 2-1 series lead.
This series is up for grabs. Because you win by a certain amount doesn't mean anything.
With Miami looking to go up 3-1 in Game 4, the Pacers sprinted out to an 11-0 lead, although the Heat would bounce back in the second half.
Allen gets it back, shoots a desperate 3 and makes it. Kaboom!
But every time the Heat rallied back, the Pacers had an answer.
Hibbert able to get to it, he scores! What a play by Royce Hibbert!
You can't play from behind the entire game. Eventually, it's going to catch up to you.
This series is going back to Miami, even at 2.
Game 5 needs no buildup.
In a physical series, Game 5 was fierce.
It's getting chippy between the Pacers and the Heat.
With tensions running high and after a slow start, the Heat responded with a sense of urgency in the third quarter.
Out to UD, right to the rim. Oh, a power move by Mr. 305.
Haslam's 16 points and James' 30-point performance, 16 coming in the third quarter alone, fueled the Heat to a 3-2 series lead and a chance to close it out.
James, oh, from 30 feet away, and yes, indeed, as he nods his head.
That's what I came here for, is to be able to compete for a championship each and every year. We're one step away from doing it once again.
In front of a hostile crowd and without a suspended Chris Andersen, the Heat struggled all game and shot 39%, while the Pacers imposed their will.
Hibbert allowed to go to the rim.
Roy Hibbert's 24 points and 11 rebounds, along with George's 28 points, saved Indiana from elimination and slammed the door on the Heat, forcing a Game 7.
Obviously, we would like to have closed this out earlier, but Game 7s are the ones you'll remember 20 years from now.
Live Live from American Airlines Arena in Miami, it's Game 7, winner take all.
We're not above a Game 7.
Made the best team win.
With their season and their legacy at stake, the Miami Heat responded like defending champions.
Here's Allen for three. He's on fire. Here's Cole for the alley-oop. Bosh for three. He got it.
Miami's offense was hitting on all cylinders, especially Wade, who had his best game of the series.
Here's Wade to the rim.
The Heat blew out the Pacers and won the Eastern Conference Championship.
Everything that happened in the first 6 games didn't mean anything to us. It was about Game 7. It was about finding a way to win here home.
For the third season in a row, the Miami Heat are headed to the NBA Finals.
They've given us an incredible season so far, but it's a long way from over.
Never take this for granted going on this ride to the next round. And these next 4, it's whatever it takes.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, together.
Welcome back to Inside the Heat. Upon winning the Eastern Conference Championship for the 3rd year in a row, the Heat were once again headed back to the NBA Finals and were now just 4 wins away from repeating as NBA champions. In their way would be an ultimate opponent, the talented and experienced San Antonio Spurs, who were looking for their 5th championship. Now, this long-anticipated matchup between elite teams and franchises would crown a champion and take basketball fans around they would never forget.
Game 1 of the NBA Finals tips off tonight with the Heat looking to repeat as champs.
Live from American Airlines Arena in Miami, it's the NBA Finals.
Game 1 was a primetime all-night battle as both teams appeared evenly matched.
James back to Wade. Wade with the finish. That's not a bad way to start for the Heat.
But the Heat only had a 3-point lead heading into the 4th quarter, and they turned the ball over 5 times, giving the Spurs a chance to steal the game.
Parker with 2 to shoot. Just gets it off in time, and he banks it in. San Antonio comes into Miami and wins Game 1.
The Heat approaching tonight's game as a must-win.
We fight! We fight! We fight! We fight! We fight! We fight! Let's go!
With a sense of renewed urgency, the Heat came out blazing.
Chalmers got hit, counted, and won.
They did a great job of bringing defensive effort. I thought the Heat kind of got back to their identity.
Miami's defense smothered the Spurs, forcing 17 turnovers and blocking 6 shots.
Parker into Splitter.
Blocked at the rim by LeBron James.
I told myself, you'll end up on SportsCenter one way or another. You're either going to get dunked on or you're going to get a block.
Chalmers led the team with 19 points as the Heat evened the series with a 19-point win.
The series is tied at 1 game apiece, and now the team is gearing up for Game 3 against the Spurs.
The Spurs proved to be tough at home in Game 3, making the Heat pay for any missteps.
Ginobili the fake. Ginobili to the basket and finish.
The Spurs set a finals record, making 16 three-pointers, and the Heat suffered a 36-point loss, their worst in franchise history.
We got what we deserved tonight. I didn't recognize the team that was out there.
The Heat find themselves facing an uphill battle again, trailing the Spurs 2-1.
At times, Coach Spoelstra tells these guys, go be great. And that's what's going to be necessary.
San Antonio tried to spoil that plan early, but a vintage Dwayne Wade took over to help spark the Heat.
Goal by Wade. Oh, kicks in and throws it down.
My teammates needed a game like this from me. They needed me to play the way that I'm capable of.
When the stakes are highest, when it's the most pressure, Dwayne will be there.
Wade's inspiring performance of 32 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 steals helped the Heat once again even the finals. Game 5 was crucial, and after a poor start and falling behind by as many as 17, the Heat rallied back to within 1 midway through the 3rd.
Wade puts a shot up, got it, and a foul call.
When we got it to 1, we thought we were in a decent position, but it just went a snowball down the hill from there.
The Spurs responded with a 19-1 run and had breakout performances by Ginobili and Danny Green.
Puts up the 3, puts it in. Now has an NBA Finals record for most three-pointers.
Despite 4 Heat players in double figures, they could not weather the storm and would go down 3-2.
If the Heat can't win on their home court, their dreams of a second straight NBA title are over.
In a must-win Game 6, the Heat came out aggressive, but trailed by 10 heading into the 4th quarter. Just as things were looking bleak for Miami, they came back with some big-time play.
Miller has only one sneaker on. LeBron to Miller.
No.
One shoe. Three.
Got it! Who needs two shoes? Miller doesn't!
I don't think it matters what the dude has on. No shoe, no problem.
Tough shot.
Slammed in by LeBron James, who had lost his headband.
It's a little thing, but I think that's what LeBron is saying. I'm leaving it all out there. This wasn't about headbands. This was about legacy.
But San Antonio fought right back and had a 5-point lead with just 28 seconds remaining. It was not looking good.
Right now, the yellow ropes are out. They're waiting to have a trophy presentation.
You know, whenever it come out, it's pretty much you've won a championship.
When they brought the yellow ropes, I said this can't be happening. It can't go down like this. You feel a little doubt at that point. But at the same time, as a competitor, you say, okay, we got less than 30 seconds. We got an opportunity to try to make a game out of this.
Picked up by Miller. Back out to James. Another three. It's good.
You can never, ever, ever give up.
James misses. Rebound Bosch. Back to Allen, the long shot. Allen from downtown, and we're going to overtime.
I always say that's probably the biggest three that I've hit in my career ever because of what it meant on the stage that we were on.
Overtime was highlighted by defense, and Chris Bosh was big in securing victory.
Blocked by Bosch, and we're going to a Game 7.
They say hard work pay off, man. So let's make that statement become true, all right?
Let's go make history.
In Miami, it's the NBA Finals, the final game of this NBA season for the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
Determination fueled the Heat in Game 7, and after 36 minutes, they had a 1-point lead.
Chalmers, three-pointer. Oh, he banks it in!
Trust each other right now. Everybody's a playmaker.
Battier pucks it in. 5 for 5 for Battier.
It didn't matter what else happened on the floor. They were going to find a way to win that game.
Miami held a 2-point lead with just under 30 seconds to play when the Finals MVP sealed it.
James pulls up, puts it in, 4-point lead.
Once he hit that shot, I knew we were going to win.
Wade throws it up to James. Final seconds. What a finish.
And the Miami Heat are going to be back-to-back champions of the basketball world.
The exhilaration that you feel is just incredible.
There can only be one 2013 NBA champion, the back-to-back Miami Heat.
Miami, champions of the basketball world.
The back-to-back champions earned their place in NBA history and were crowned at home, receiving their third Larry O'Brien trophy, and was followed up with another epic locker room celebration that was far from dry. Just 4 days later, there would be a third parade down Biscayne Boulevard through a sea of white-hot fans that packed the streets of Miami and then filled the American Airlines Arena for a championship celebration. It was an amazing end to an incredible season that we will all remember forever. Thank you for enjoying this championship edition of Inside the Heat. I'm Eric Reed.
Tony used Priceline to book this 4-star hotel. Tell him why.